Well, it is a warm welcome to this evening's English audio commentary of all the action from Toluca, Mexico, as we are now into the quarter-finals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, as Toluca, the Mexican side, take on LA Galaxy, the MLS United States side. Big moment, big favourites are Toluca this evening as well, so the pressure is on them. Whereas LA Galaxy, I'm sure they will be loved to play the party pooper, if you will, this evening. But Toluca coming to this game, similar to LA Galaxy, losing their last one. They didn't win until recently in the Champions Cup, a dominating 4-0 victory in San Diego FC. Whereas Galaxy as well, they lost their last game to Minnesota United 2-1 after a 1-1 draw with Portland Timbers. Their last win was a 3-0 win against Mount Pleasant. But Galaxy, it's not been the best of starts to the MLS season. Of course, the Champions Cup is on the horizon now. So the knockout stages go out the window, as I said, at the form. Now, to be the winner, will face LAFC in the semi-finals in late April. Of course, there is currently another game going on. Tigres hosting Seattle Sounders. The Mexican side are winning 2-0 there, so it could be that Tigres meet Toluca, for example, in the final. So this should be a good one between the two sides, two historic sides as well. And when it comes to this competition as well, both sides have won this, not for a while though. We'll look at Toluca, 11 times Liga MX winners, most recently the last year, 24-25, 8 times runners-up. Most recently as 22-23. They're two-time winners of this competition. Last time though, 23 years ago. I'm sure that Antonio Mohamed and Co were looking to make a difference. Won in 2003 and 1968, a storied competition, of course. With Galaxy, a lot of modern history realistically for Galaxy, like a lot of MLS teams. 6-time winners though of the MLS, 24, 14, 12, 11, 05 and 2002. And the 4-time runners-up as well. Of course, such known for so many stars playing for Galaxy in the past. As I say though, they have won it though, the CONCACAF Champions Cup in 2000 now. So 23 years since Toluca have lifted the trophy. Even longer, 26 for the MLS side from Los Angeles. When we do look at the sides, a good number of changes for either side. For Toluca, they make 4 from, as I said, that 1-0 away defeat to Quellentaro, Barbosa, Lopez, Isaias and Diaz drop out. Mendez, Simon, Gallardo and Vega come into the 11 for the hosts. Whereas for Galaxy, 5 changes from the 2-1 home loss to Minnesota United. Alda, Suarez, Hack, Sanabria and Royce drop out. Yoshida, Nelson, Yamane, Miller and Tommy come into the 11. Both teams are just making their way onto the field, so we will be underway shortly. It won't be too long until all the action is underway in the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-finals. So the lineups in the full for the hosts, Toluca. It is Luis Garcia in goal. A back three of Bruno Mendez, skipper Federico Pereira and Santiago Simon. Midfield 4 of Helino on the right and Jesus Gallardo as the left wing backs, right wing backs if you will. Midfield 2 of Nicolas Castro and Franco Romero. The forward 3 of Jesus, Ricardo Anglo, Paulinho and Alexis Vega for Antonio Mohamed's side. Whereas for LA Galaxy, 4-2-3-1 formation for the visitors. In goal is the skipper James Marcinkowski. Back forward of Maya Yoshida, John Nelson, Carlos Garces and Miki Yamane. Midfield duo of Edwin Cirillo and Elijah Winder, with Eric Tommy, Harbour Miller and Gabriel Peck supporting Yao Klaus. And 4-2-3-1 for Galaxy this evening. As I say, Toluca, massive favourites, it has to be said. Of course, as I say, in the cup competitions, I just feel the expectations are a little bit different, aren't they? Yes, Toluca will be massive favourites, but still have to come through in the clutch to do such a thing. We are ready for kick-off. Great atmosphere from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz, as it is English audio commentary. If you are joining us, thank you very much. Toluca hosting LA Galaxy, just about to get underway between the two sides. And I as well on the game between Seattle Sounders and Tigres. Of course, that is in the opposite bracket, but possibly that could be a final, as I say, between either of these two sides if they make it through to the semis against LAFC. Absolutely packed house, full of red for Toluca. I wonder how many of the Galaxy travelling fans have made it down. Of course, as well, being from England, the away scene is very different everywhere, isn't it? In America, to South America, to anywhere in Europe. See a lot of American sports, for example, the fans mingle, don't they? There's no away end, you just sit wherever you do. It's a very foreign concept to a lot of, I think, football, soccer fans, if you will. Players just making their way out. So I do say apologies, we probably will be a few minutes behind the scheduled, at least where I am, 4 a.m. kickoff. Whereas the Toluca side making their way out, all red as per usual. LA Galaxy all white with that blue trim that they usually do have. So we're not too far away from kickoff now between the two sides. As I say, it's 4 a.m. for me, but just past 9 o'clock local time. Good 7 hours behind. I'm a good 7 hours in front, I should say. They're 7 hours behind me in Toluca. So they might be playing possibly past even 11 o'clock, dependent, of course, on how long the game goes. I say great atmosphere between the two sides, and great show being put on at the moment. Fireworks galore. Big moment for these Galaxy players as well. As I say, yes, underdogs and second favourites by a mile at the moment. But there's some good names in there, and I would look at the opportunity that you're going to be given to go on and win this game. As I say, we've been so long since Galaxy have lifted. Same with Toluca, that's why I think there's maybe more pressure on them. Losing their last game. Of course, they do sit third though in the Liga MX, and of course usually massive favourites even in the league, and regardless of this one. At the bench though, the one that sticks out for me, hopefully he might get some minutes, him that I'm at least very, very closely linked with, Marco Reus, the former Dortmund man, ripping it up in the Bundesliga for so many years. Now the likes of himself and Thomas Muller now playing in the MLS, and of course in the CONCACAF Champions Cup this evening. And the Galaxy just in the normal handshakes, so I would say we're probably a couple of minutes away from kickoff. Apologies for the delay, I can't do too much about it, but probably about 5 minutes late to kick off between the two sides. We're not too far away from kick-off either, it has to be said. Looking at the two coaches as well, I've already spoken about a bit of the history for the two sides. Antonio Mohamed, the 56-year-old Argentine, he's not been boss too long for Toluca, but he's got a great record. 67 games managed, this being 68th as a whole, 41 wins, 16 draws and 10 losses. He's been the boss since December 2024, former player as well for Monterrey and Club America, so knows the Mexican scene very well, does the Argentine, whereas Greg Vanney, he's been the former United States international, the 51-year-old coach. He's been in charge since January 2021, a real familiar face for Galaxy. He's coached over 200 times for the LA-based outfit, 210 games, 83 wins, 50 draws and 77 losses. Of course, former Toronto boss as well, from August 2014 to December 2020, a month later taking the Galaxy job. And he's a former and familiar face for Galaxy. Well, he played well over 200 times for Galaxy with 2 runs there early on in his career, and retired at LA Galaxy. Played minutes as well, and many games for Dallas, DC United and Colorado Rapids. Also played just over 20 times for the USA men's national team as well, so he's done a lot of good things as well. The MLS outfit winning the MLS as well in 2024, and think he's been rather successful as well. It's very much a comfortable former player who very much knows what he's doing as well. Basically, you feel as well, retired in the late 2000s, went into coaching, and he's very much found his home. He was one of the more well-known Galaxy players, now one of the well-known Galaxy bosses. I always feel there's a lot of pressure on LA Galaxy as an outside looking into the MLS. So many names have gone there. Of course, the one that I think everyone will think about is David Beckham. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, of course, there for a very, very long time as well. And then, very similar to a Manchester United, the noisy neighbours LAFC, a la Manchester City, have come in, and they've had the likes, of course, of Olivier Giroud, Gareth Bale. So it always feels that Galaxy sometimes are the second best, but to me, probably the most well-recognised side in the MLS, at least from a perspective outside of the USA. But both teams almost are ready to go. We're only a few seconds away from kick-off. It is English audio commentary of all the action from the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup as Toluca host LA Galaxy, and we do get underway. In the first half, the visitors Galaxy do get us underway. They're going from left to right in this first half. The all-white with a trim of blue, as I say, whereas Toluca going from right to left in the all-red. Referee this evening is Hector Martinez, the Uruguayan. One thing that stood out for me, has an average of 6 yellow cards a game, so we'll have to see how eager he is, should I say, to go to his cards. Toluca have the ball at the back with the goalkeeper Garcia. Back three is very, very wide at the moment, almost on the right. Mendes on the left side, and they might as well be fullbacks to a degree. Play forward to Angelo. Miguelinho, nice overlapping run. Can he find a ball into the box? He can. It's into a decent area. Has to be cleared, and it's a good clearance as well, from Garces, because he just clears it high into the air, and it means that Marcin Kowski can come over and win the ball. But the number 25 for Galaxy, the defender, had to deal with that well, just because Paulinho's in the box, but Alexis Vega was at the back sticks as well. He had to be very, very careful of that one. LA Galaxy and Marcin Kowski, they're not really bothered about keeping possession. It's just punted forward. No real bother or thought about it. Left hand side away with Gallardo. Back to the skipper Pereira. I said both central midfielders, defensive midfielders more realistically, in Castro and Romero, sitting rather deep. Trying to link up with those three central defenders. Mendes trying to keep the tempo not very high at the moment, Toluca, but I will say it's 1-2, quick passing between the two sides. It's about 13 degrees over in Toluca in Mexico. It's quite cloudy as well over in the Mexico. Mendes, Castro, the likes of Angelo and Vega are dropping deep as well to create some space and create some movement. There's Simon and the centre backs as well, but given a lot of licence to go forward and run at their man. Vega, nice ball into the box. It won't find Paulinho. It's cut out once again by Garces. Back to the goalkeeper Marcin Kowski, the man with the armband on for Galaxy. Plays it straight away, though, as I say, once again, they're not bothered. They just want to sit, defend, hit on the counter, make no mistakes, especially early on. They've won the ball here, though, Galaxy. Possibility for a counter-attack. Ball over the top. Peck, nice touch on his Peck, on his shoulder, but it's overrun. Well defended in the end, though, by Simon. I think even if the goalkeeper, Garcia, didn't come out there, I think Simon would have had him wrapped up and defended well. But Peck off his right Peck, if you will. Good piece of play. Shows that Galaxy, they've got pace in behind, but the back three is all for Toluca to save the central defenders. They're no slouches as well. Galaxy have won it in the middle. Miller pass it back to his full-back Yoshida. the former Southampton man, ever experienced, of course. Mostly plays at centre-back, and I think that shows that, yes, he can play at left-back, but probably shows that it's more of a defensive left-back in what he is. Watching back that ball from Helinho is a really good one. And as I say, Cáceres has to deal with it because Vega is there. Watching it back as well, Paulinho half-heartedly asking for a penalty. I don't think it is one. I think that would be very, very harsh if that was to be given. I've seen pictures of Antonio Mohamed and Gregor Avani prowling the technical areas as per usual, so managers can really bark out orders to their teams. Toluca, once again still in possession, moving it from right to left to Gallardo. That's a nice ball into Vega. Can he make some space? No. Alex almost, I feel, rather teased him there and saying, oh, you've got loads of room. As soon as he took a touch, he was pounced on by three of Cirillo, Cáceres and Yamane. But once again, time was Cirillo, no chances taken, boots it long. So Toluca get the ball back once again. We'll have to see, of course, the wing-backs at the moment offering a lot of width, especially Helinho, who's picked out now. It's a lovely ball out to the right wing-back. See, that's a little bit high for him. Takes a nice touch on his chest and brings it down. 1-on-1 against Yoshida. He fitted the ball into the box and it just goes wide. I think the goalkeeper get a touch on it there. That's more of a, I don't know if that is a cross. I don't know if that's a shot. Probably one of those of a right, maybe if I just put this into a good area. It's a curling, phased effort. Watching it back, I do think he's going more for the shots and then a ball into the box. And I think Paulinho's almost thinking, could you have maybe fizzed that one in there as you have? It's not a bad ball, but maybe picked me out more than anything. So goal kick for Galaxy. I'm seeing the boss, Greg Vanny, on the touchline. Goalkeeper goes long. Foul in the air there by João Klaus. His defender, the skipper, Federico Pereira, who goes back to Garcia. Mendes. Galaxy now trying to press high, so whenever they can press high, quite clearly they will. They've forced Toluca into mistake and they've won it high up the field. Peck wins it. He's going to continue to drive forward. Can he find a teammate? Can't, but he will go himself down the right-hand side. Good play by the right-sided midfielder. Floats the ball into the back sticks. It's a poor one, really, over a hit. Tommy tries to keep it in play, but too much on it, and he almost just comes off his head, just trying to nod it down for the run of Miller there. So throwing on the right-hand side, level with their own penalty area for Toluca, and they will regain possession once again. They've had, at least statistics, give or take, about 80%, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher, of the host. Moving swiftly through the gears, Paulinho into Helinho, ball into the box, strike comes in, just a whisker past the post there. Great run made by Nicolas Castro. That's what you do need. You would always say, don't you, in this 3-4-3, you need runners, I think, sometimes, and when it works well. That time Castro getting in a good position, it just gets underneath it, and once again I will say that is a shot at goal, but Vega is at the back post. I also think that is Castro thinking, let me just hit it, maybe it takes a rebound, maybe one of my teammates get in at the back post, who knows. I don't think that's a bad effort though on Toluca. Again, what would make you worry maybe if you are LA Galaxy is that was very easy to move it from the back to the front, and Helinho on that right hand side is giving Yoshida a lot of work early on. Of course, we're not too far into the game, give or take, just over 7 minutes played. Still goalless, but Toluca are the side that have had the most chances at the moment. Helinho sprays a lovely pass from right to left, wing back to wing back. Gallardo now gets a chance to go forward. Ball poked into the box with Paulinho, back heel into the arms of the goalkeeper though. Great alert goalkeeper there for Marcinkowski. Lovely ball into Paulinho, and the idea is absolutely world class. The thought to go for the back heel to look for would have been Angelo, who was running in behind. I know it felt for the goalkeeper, but I would say that I think the defender would have probably had it sorted, and would have been there to intercept and block and clear anything away. But again, the idea was absolutely fantastic, just the execution was poor. And I say that because that was always going to be very, very hard work for Paulinho. It wasn't an easy back heel, but I really do rate the idea of trying to do it. And Galaxy punt it, long ball forward, Angelo nearly in behind here for Toluca. Once again, I can see the goalkeeper Marcinkowski. He's always trying to make early decisions, very alert. And maybe if you're Toluca, you're thinking, well, if he makes one wrong mistake when he tries to come out and tries to be alert, we can maybe catch him out to a degree. Galaxy off the ball, and then again a long ball looking for Klaus. It's intercepted into the path of Pereira. Out to Gallardo, looks for the ball down the line for Vega. Too much on it, and Galaxy win it again. Back to the goalkeeper who goes on look for Klaus as well. Klaus is at the moment quite isolated. I think when they look for these long balls, they're looking for the second balls, which have done there. And that's a nice ball out to Miller on the left hand side. Brings it more centrally into Tommy. He's going to go for a striker goal. It's the side netting. A lovely move from Galaxy. I will say both teams going from back to front very quickly, making a real nuisance at each side. Really good start to the game, closing in on 10 minutes or so. Again, maybe if you have Toluca, you would be worried there that it's Galaxy. It'll be much better side than Galaxy in the opening 10, close to 10 minutes. But again, that was a lovely ball. Ball the run of Miller, got it back into the middle, and I think he may be worried that Wright got off a little bit too easily there. Got it on the left-hand side, Gallardo. To Simon, he's going to play a long ball over the top. What a ball that is. And it's a one-on-one opportunity. Toluca get the lead. Ball over the top. Castro had a strike earlier on. Makes no mistake about it this time. There will be a quick look for offside, I can assume, but you can see LA Galaxy, they fought hard for 10 minutes. But it was just a lovely ball over the top from Santiago Simon. A great run from Nicolas Castro, no one following him in. Lovely first touch, sets himself up. And what a strike from the midfielder there. So calm, cool and collected. He's already made one run that was untracked, and it was an awkward strike for him to take. But that's a ball over the top, and a 25-year-old Argentine gladly obliges. Put that ball in the back of the net. Former Elche man, played a lot of time in Argentina. Also played a few years for Genk in Belgium, and a couple of years in Elche as well. But what a finish that was. He's already got 3 goals and 8 assists in the league this season. Comes another one to boot as well. What a finish. And Toluca now, as I said, there were heavy favourites coming into this game. They've got an early lead, and you just feel, where do they go from here? To a degree, it's his first goal in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. What a time to get it. It's the Argentine Nicolas Castro who puts Toluca 1-0 up. English audio commentary at the 10th minute mark, give or take. That maybe went in, just over 12 minutes played from Toluca, Mexico. And Nicolas Castro again, it was looked at, his run was actually timed to perfection from the midfielder. And a lovely ball over the top. Now I think maybe again, if you're Galaxy, you're just thinking, how many could they put past us? I don't think Toluca are going to win 5 and 6-0 or anything like that, but could they go get a second and push for a third? I think confidence is running through the veins of Toluca. I think as well that loss at the weekend, probably almost poking the bear, if you will. Galaxy didn't. Wasn't their fault, but you almost feel that it's that was disappointing, and who can they take their anger out on? And unfortunately at the moment, that is LA Galaxy, it has to be said. So if you are joining, just over 13 minutes played here at the Estadio Nemesio 10. It's Toluca 1, LA Galaxy 0. English audio commentary of the CONCACAF quarter-finals. We're going to face LAFC, and at the moment I know we're very, very early on. You won't be counting your chickens just yet, but Toluca will be the side to meet the LA rivals in the semi-finals. Toluca, the ball with Simon left side, with a big ball forward to Vega, back to Gallardo. Vega was in an offside position, so the flag swiftly goes up from the official on the other side. So free kick for LA Galaxy. And I said the atmosphere was bouncing before kick-off. Well, my word, when that goal went in, you thought the roof was going to go off. As per usual, the Toluca fans are out in their droves and been absolutely fantastic so far and cheering their side on. And I'm sure, although sometimes it can be very underrated in atmospheres and fan approval and the cheers from the crowd, but the Toluca players really respect that, like most do. And it really creates that almost 12th man atmosphere. Galaxy have it, that's a poor pass though. Gallardo is there, quick and early to intercept, and here comes Toluca on a swift counter. Outside the area, strike comes in, blocks away. That time it was Paulinho. Blocked well away by Yoshida. He's saying to his teammates, perhaps Paul, we can't afford to give them easy chances. We're already 1-0 down, we don't want to be 2-0 down inside 5 minutes of each goal coming. So it will be a corner from the near side. Paulinho takes it quickly, 1-2 back to the full back. Ball comes in. It's just a little bit overhit from the right winger. Goes all the way from the left hand side to the right. The left hand side for Galaxy for a throw in. Paulinho though has been lively, so has Gallardo. On the left hand side. Throw in level with their own penalty area on the left for Galaxy. Gallardo takes it and goes long. Ball over the top for Miller, nodded on for Klaus off his back. He might have been in an offside position, I believe he is, so free kick for Toluca. Swiftly goes from the right hand side to the left hand side. Pereira. Everyone is in the Galaxy half, of course, bar the goalkeeper Luis Garcia, and I can imagine he's not stood on his goal line. I imagine he might have been halfway out of his own goal. Elinho on the right hand side, giving Yoshida a real problem. Not for the first time, he switches it from right to left to his other opposite fullback in Gallardo. Back into the middle to the goal scorer Castro. Romero. Castro, the two midfielders exchange a few passes. Again, really with the wing back spreading the width and keeping the tempo high. Really good play from Toluca. Ball in behind, looking for the run there of Angelo. Nothing coming of it though. Easily dealt with. Trickles out for, I believe, a goal kick for LA Galaxy. Sheila just having a word with the goalkeeper. They might try and take this short, and it still might go long, but they are going to try and play out from the back, and then a high press from Toluca puts an end to that very swiftly, and he goes long and he overhits it for the run of Gabriel Peck, and Toluca have it back in the middle with Franco, quickly out to Mendes on the right hand side, into Helinho. Or pass into the middle, intercepted well there by Winder. Now Galaxy, they have the chance to counter-attack. Peck coming forward. There's numbers in their droves for the white jerseys. Out to Klaus on the right-hand side. It's a poor pass, it's under him. Well read though by Pereira. And a fantastic interception from the centre-back. Toluca, they're slowly coming forward. I think if anything there, Castro was just saying, let's just calm down and let's just slow things down with the 1-0 up. Closing in on just about maybe 18 minutes, 19 minutes, give or take. They do lead at 1-0, comfortable lead as well. Only the one shot for Galaxy off the side, netting from a swift counter, whereas Toluca have had 4 shots. Only the one on target was a really high XG as well. Whoever who will be tuning in will love to hear about XG. Here come the hosts down the left-hand side. Vega crossing to the box, takes a deflection, and the goalkeeper, Marcinkowski, was scrambling to get back there and to tip it over the bar. Had to deal with that one. Vega puts a dangerous ball into the box, takes a deflection off Carlos Garces, and that is looping over the goalkeeper. He would have left that. That was in the back of the net, and unfortunate own goal as well for Garces. But Toluca win the corner on the far side. At the moment there is a short option, but looks like Vega will take the in-swinger. No, he doesn't. He sells me shot and takes a corner shot as well. Ball into the box. Opportunity here. Blocked away, back to Vega. Lovely quick feet from the number 9. He might go for a shot. He does. Deflected out for another corner on the same side. Very quiet in the opening 20 minutes has Vega, but he's really come to life in the last 5 minutes or so. And almost plays on the left-hand side. And I feel in this 3-4-3, when it works, how Toluca are working it works perfectly. But when it doesn't work, it's one of the worst formations in the football. Ball comes in, a header, free header. It's a poor one though in the end. I think maybe, unfortunately, the defender thinks he has less time than he does. Marcinkowski goes long straight away. Garcia comes out and deals with it, hooks it away out for a throw-in on the left-hand side for Galaxy. It was a good ball for defending, really, in the end. Galaxy need to be much better defensively because Toluca with a better header, with a better connection. That could have easily been 2-0, and maybe 2-0 is when it is. Even Galaxy thinking, oh, that's game over for us. It's a good header. In the end, Pereira the man to get up there. Again, on target. Even that with by the goalkeeper, but I do think Pereira should have made it a lot more difficult for the goalkeeper, whereas it was just kind of hit off the ground. That's what you want to do, hit it low, but you don't get the connection he wants on it. It was straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Toluca still with possession. Again, as I say, it's still about 80%, give or take, for the hosts. Garcia. And Toluca are moving it nicely around the pitch, going from left to right, back to front very swiftly, and there's a lot of movement. Galaxy are that deep. I think Toluca are going back to front, trying to move them around, trying to force them into a high press from the low block that they're currently sitting in. It's the best way to open them up. I always think it's best. Look, if you stop by going left to right, sometimes go back, get Galaxy to almost relieve a bit of pressure. Here they come down the left-hand side with Gallardo. Ball into the box just behind Paulinho. On ball forward looking to release Peck, but that's overhit. It's well defended by Simon, and the red of Toluca is all over LA Galaxy at the moment. Castro back to Pereira. And it is very much one touch the best I think Toluca can play it. They can play a first time pass, great. If they can take a touch, get the head up and play, that's what they want to do. They don't want to linger on the ball. And the boys got options. Romero swiftly out to the left to Gallardo. He's got a bit of space now to maybe run at his defender. Cuts inside on his right boot, goes for a shot, and it goes wide of the mat. Drags it into the near side netting. Good idea. Then there was no one helping out the fullback there in Yamane, so the wing backs have been really good stretching the play. You need either a defensive midfielder in Cirillo or Winder to come over and help the fullbacks to double up, because they're almost having to think, do I go with the winger and, for example, Vega? Do I go with the wing back, Gallardo, on that side? If you're Yamane, it's very, very awkward to say what you do. Galaxy have the ball. Peckett's taken off of his feet. Franco drives forward and plays it to the left to Vega. It's back inside, and Vega gets it once again. Franco to Pereira. And everyone's going to open up on the left for Vega. Ball into the box. It's a curling one. It's not a bad effort, but the run by Polini didn't meet the ball in. It's quite a flat cross as well. Perhaps maybe You would say that's where Angelo is needed to make a run at the back sticks. Paulinho makes a run at the front post in the centre. You've got your other attacking midfielder when you're on the right hand side making that run. Maybe that's the best way to do it, but still it wasn't. It was a good ball. It's one that if someone's running on the end of it, it looks like a perfect ball in. Because no one is. It looks like quite a flat and a poor ball in from Vega. From the goal kick, Klaus tries to bring it down, but nothing comes of it, unfortunately. In the middle though now, Cirillo trying to drive forward. He shakes off Franco. I thought that was a good strong shoulder-to-shoulder piece of play. Winder as well was involved, so the foul will go against Winder. Cirillo was making a run as well. I thought that was just a strong just get off me as a central midfielder. Going to drive forward with Winder there, but referee Hector Martinez sees it differently to me. So Luke will get possession back once again, and once again can just easily knock it around. In possession within the back three. So trying to keep it quite simple at the moment, Toluca. I mean, the goal was as simple as it gets. It was just a box crashing run from Castro. Lovely ball up the top by Santiago Simon. Don't get me wrong with that. That was inch perfect for the run of the Argentine, but it was a simple kind of goal, wasn't it? Ball over the top for a run for your forward, and you get in behind. It was a simple goal, an effective goal. Never say it's not effective. On the back with Garcia for the moment. The feet of Franco. And possession-wise, give or take 80% so far. Ball over the top, look for Durham Gallardo. Yamane has to deal with it. Start with well. He just has to clear his lines, but does well to get it out for a throw-in. So far, he's about 80% possession for Toluca. 0.68 expected XG. The goal from Castro, 0.51. That shows how well of a high chance was created by Toluca. 6 shots to the 1 of Galaxy for Toluca. 2 on target. 1 was from the goal from Castro. 1 was from a poor header from Pereira. Still was on target though. 3 corners to 0. Toluca are dominating in every aspect really, even accurate passes. About just over 225 with 92% accuracy for Toluca, whereas Galaxy only around 42 accurate passes so far. Give or take 70%. Of course, those numbers might be a few seconds, a few minutes off, possibly, with updates all the time coming in. I have to say that that's quite damning for Galaxy in terms of ball possession. And yeah, perhaps you don't have to always have the ball, but when you're on the ball, to be making 70% of your passes is quite poor. Castro's brought back there and held by the Galaxy man. That's how it was. Cirillo with the foul. Surprised the referee didn't have a word with him there. I don't think it's a yellow card, but quite cynical, just pulling back on your opposite midfielder. Galaxy struggling to even win the ball back at the moment. Once again under pressure is Castro, but he plays a lovely ball over the top, well dealt with by Garces. Toluca knocking it around. Oh, lovely turn there by Franco. Gets away from his man, tries to poke a ball through. Galaxy might have a counter-attack on now. Klaus is forced to go back, and then a poor pass is played forward, looking for the run of Miller. Lovely ball to Vega. Here comes Toluca. Of course, he wanted to go wide to Gallardo, but he was marked already. But Toluca again, you 1-0 up. No need for, I feel if this was maybe 0-0 closing in on the half-hour mark, possibility then is for maybe tensions to rise, but that early goal means Toluca can just go, well, we don't need to come forward every time. We're happy to just keep the ball and keep Galaxy off of it, look for a second at our own leisurely pace. Vega on the left. Pitches it wide to the right-hand side. That might be a foul there. Late tackle. Very close to winning the ball there was Vega. The Galaxy man has stayed down. And it's Eric Tommy. It's Helena involved in the first one, and then Vega diving in for the second. So I believe the foul's gone against Helena. Tommy just easing his way back to his feet. So a free kick for Galaxy about halfway into their own half. Sinkowski. The feet of Yoshida. Looks like he's playing more centrally, and Nelson's playing off the left as a left back at the moment. Oh, that's a nice ball into the middle. Here come Galaxy. Tommy past a few players, driving forward, switches it nicely to the left-hand side. Galaxy man wasn't maybe expecting that pass, though. Drove in a little bit wide, but they're going to drive into the middle here. Ball needs to go into the box. It does. It's a decent one. It's headed away, and Galaxy will win their first corner of the evening. It's a really good piece of play in the middle as well to get away from a few players. Again, you're 1-0 down. It's a CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-finals. You need to take on a man. You need to take a risk. And I like to see that a risk was taken there. Good corner. Galaxy going from left to right in this first half on the broadcast view. So it will be from the near side. Outswinging from Peck. He's got a short option. To see though, will they go into the box? He does. Into the back post area. Nodded away by Pereira. 4 passes. Looking to put it back into an area there was Cirillo, gets right underneath it and goes out for a goal kick for Toluca, which they kick long straight away, looking to put the pressure on Galaxy, force them to get players back. It's nodded away by Yoshida, but only as far as the right hand side. Peck though wins it. And he keeps it in play well. Here come LA Galaxy down the right-hand side. A few step-overs, takes it past his man. Into the penalty area, pokes it back across the face of goal. Did he run it out of play? Did it take a deflection? Great play from Gabriel Peck. But I do think he just ran it out before the ball could go into the box. And it is a goal kick regardless. Of course, Luke might have stabbed it out and the cross came in, it went out of play. But I think just overhit it. Second there. The referee's just bringing a halt to the game. I think one of the LA Galaxy players is just having to sort his right boot out. Peck, I think he was caught maybe. The Toluca man isn't happy. He's Pereira, but Klaus is saying, look, he's just retying his boots. So Toluca can now get underway. I think maybe what the Toluca defender was trying to state is that, well, he's trying to slow out, maybe counter down from a goal kick while you're out of place and stop the game, and we can go from there. But we are back underway. Toluca with the ball at the back. Just over half an hour played here. About 32 on the clock from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz. It's CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-final action. English audio commentary of all the minutes here. It's Toluca who lead a 1-0 at home to LA Galaxy. Massive favourites coming in at the moment doing the business. Nicolas Castro goal just after the 11th minute mark. Lovely ball over the top from Santiago Simon, the Argentine midfield. The timing is run to perfection. He took a touch to set himself just outside the penalty area and a wicked strike into the bottom corner to give Toluca the lead, rightfully so as well, in this first half. They've been dominant. They've been good to watch as well. They're on the ball once again. Again, because of that early goal, as I say, it's just the nerves and the tension is almost relieved from the shoulders of Toluca, so they can just knock it around, keep possession. There's no real need to push for a goal. As I said, possibly around this time of the game, I would have thought if it was 0-0, the fans are always going to be behind Toluca. They've got a fantastic fan base and fantastic atmosphere as always to push them over, just pushing them over the edge for a win. It has to be said that maybe this is where you go, ooh, Galaxy are sticking around, maybe they've had a few chances that went wide. For example, Castro's goes wide, you go, oh, that's a big chance we missed, and you can imagine they might have been a bit more front-footed if it was still 0-0 at this point. But getting that early goal inside 15 minutes was perfect for Antonio Mohamed's side. Elinho on the right will float the ball once again. That's for the third or fourth time he's done that out to Gallardo on the left, and again it's pinpoint perfection. Edge of the area. Paulinho, will it fall for Vega? Yes, it will, but he plays it to Gallardo. Great interception from Yamane. Interception though, which can only push it wide. And out for a throw-in for Toluca, so they will continue their attack. Or has the offside flag gone up? I believe the offside flag has gone up. Apologies. So it will be a free kick for Galaxy. Final minutes, I don't know, 20, final 15 or 10-15 minutes coming up. Can't imagine there will be too much stoppage time between the two sides. It's been a fantastic flow to the game so far. .36 minutes on the clock, less than 10 to go. Castro's goal, the difference here. Ball on the right hand side, Elinho cuts inside, puts his man down on his backside, goes for a strike at goal. Strike comes in, blocks away. What a block that is at the back from Garces. I think there's a half-hearted appeal for a handball from Toluca as well, but they will win the corner. Such a close opportunity, nearly fell kindly for Paulinho as well. Elinho will be the man to go over and take this in-swinging corner. They've gone short from a few, so they'll put it past them that this will be a short corner taken as well. Looks like it will be whipped in. He's whipped in right on the goalkeeper. Goes all the way through. I do want to say though, Marcin Kowski does get a touch. So they'll go all the way out because I think that was curling in from Elinho. Watch it back. It's a wicked cross. It is. He gets a touch on it. It's a vital fingertip touch. The corner's taken shot. Vega whips it in. Goalkeeper comes to claim, palms it down and jumps on the loose ball. He does well and he wins the ball. That was a wicked delivery from Vega there. Really good one as well. Bringing into a testing area. Galaxy quickly lose it. Good high press from Toluca. Paulinho out to Elinho. Castro, the goal scorer, into Franco. Couple of 1-2s. Trying to up the tempo. Galaxy win it in the middle. Cirillo, that's a nice first touch. And now into Klaus. Ball over the top, looking for the run of Gabriel Peck. Not enough on it and chested down confidently by Pereira. And Toluca will get us back underway. Quickly to the feet of Elinho. He's finding some real form and really getting at Yoshida once again down the right hand side. That time the former Southampton man deals with him well. Castro pokes it forward, back out to Elinho on the right hand side. There's no real bodies in the box. He'll find a cross looking for Paulinho, but I think it just comes last off the Toluca forward. The problem was Elinho wanted to put the ball in the first time. There was no runners in the box. We had to take a touch really slows the attack down in that moment as well. That was just unfortunate. And it is an LA Galaxy goal. Kick about to tick over into the 39th minute. Just over 5 minutes left, if you will, of the first half. There'll be many stoppages, been a lot of possession, as I say, for Toluca. Galaxy, I think, have really responded well since going down, and I think they've had a really good first half. To say how heavy Toluca were favourites, look, Toluca could go get a second before half time, and it is a little bit of a different story. But perhaps even from a Greg Valley point of view and the Galaxy players, I think maybe if we can keep it at a 1-goal deficit, all we need is one chance that we can create, and that could give us an equaliser. You never know. Toluca are playing with a lot of confidence, but maybe a mistake at the back, a swift counter-attack that's taken advantage of you. To say you never know in football, and when the lights are on brightest in these games, mistakes can get to players. Lovely ball from Castro to Gallardo, back into the box, strike comes in, it's at the goalkeeper, he spills it for a second, and Vega was the man running in. It was Paulinho who had the strike. It was a lovely ball back in. Vega, the referee's having a word with him, and Marcin Kowski isn't happy because he follows him. He spills the ball. Vega has all the right in the world. He doesn't kick at him or kick out. He pulls his leg back as soon as the goalkeeper has it, but there's nothing wrong with him running in there at all. And the goalkeeper just trying to maybe get Vega in trouble. Look, I could understand if he left a leg in, or as I say, left a Sterling leg in it. It caught the keeper, but he didn't do that. He just tried to, after a goalkeeper mistake, he tried to pounce and make it 2-0. Galaxy have the ball in the middle with Winder. Sprays it out to Gabriel Peck into the penalty area. Put back across face of goal. Cleared well away by Pereira, and out for a throw-in for Galaxy high on the right-hand side. He had to deal with that as well. One of his teammates has stayed down. I believe it is Pereira. He's slow to get back to his feet. Wants a replay. Great play from Peck. Puts it through the legs of the onrushing defender Pereira, and it has to be cleared away by Mendes. Also as well for Pereira, it looks like he might have just pulled something or tweaked something, because all he does is he doesn't, for example, Gabriel Peck, he puts it onto the box. There's nothing that happens really with it, but it's a throw-in for Galaxy. Looks like that might be a game done and dusted for Pereira, I have to say. Seeing pictures now of a few Toluca players warming up. Not saying he is going to be substituted, but that close to half time, there's a host possibility as well that there might be the thought that can we get to half time and deal with it then. Yamane takes a throw and it goes back and forth at the moment. Toluca are down to 10 men with a off the field of play. Federico Pereira with an injury. 42 minutes on the clock, less than 3 of the first 45 to go. Yoshida down the line to Miller, 1-2, overlapping run, ball comes into the box, a little over hit. We kept in play though by Yamane. Ball played forward and Toluca trying to perhaps come forward. Ball over the top to the right hand side. Here comes Helinho. Toluca, if they make it 2-0 before half time, what a time to score. Coming forward, ball poked to the left hand side. Opportunity back across the face of goal. And Toluca, a swift counter attack. What a transition that was. Finished off by Paulinho. Unselfish player to play it across to the forward. But Galaxy trying to come forward, and it's a 33-year-old Portuguese forward who obliges with a lovely finish. Former Sporting forward, had so many years. A couple of caps as well picked up along the way for Portugal. Won the Liga Portugal as well with Sporting and Lisbon. Had a great time there. It's been at Toluca now since the June of 2014. It's a lovely ball back across the face of goal. Made over 140 appearances for Sporting. It's a lovely ball win to Angelo, and as I say, such unselfish play, the selflessness there And Paulinho, big round of applause, big smile on his face, looking at Angelo saying, thank you for that pass. And Paulinho gladly obliges with the goal. There's never a bad time to score. But scoring before half-time is always a real boost, and you almost can feel Craig Valley might have been thinking, right, we're only a goal down, guys. What's your team talk going to be? Well, throw that out the window now, because you've just conceded. And you've conceded a hammer blow, really. It's not so well to be just 1-0 down for most of this game, and now you turn down. Toluca are looking like they'll be forced into a change. Pereira's come back onto the field, but he's already back down, so he will be forced to come off the field of play. I wonder as well, being 2-0 up, and they'll just go with 10 men until the end of the game. It looks like Say's back on the field. I'm not saying it's not a serious injury. I just feel it's not, for example, a pulled hamstring or an Achilles, which it could have been. So that's looking at the positive. It's unfortunately a bad injury, but it could be worse. Could always be worse. And he's walking off under his own power. But Federico Pereira, just before the half-time whistle will go in a few minutes, he's forced off. What again could be a lower leg injury. Not quite sure. Just waiting for full confirmation as well. Just only the 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. We've just hit the 45th minute, so there might be an extra 30 or 40 seconds given. But on in his place, I do believe the broadcasters have just got that wrong, because they've just said number 3 is coming on to the field of play, whereas number 13 has just come on. I believe Luan Garcia is on to the field of play. I assume that will be like for like. It is a defender coming on for a defender. I'll say Pereira was playing at the centre of the back three. That might change. Garcia more of a left-footed, possible left back. So might be that, for example, Simon goes to the centre or Mendes goes to the centre. Have to wait and see. Galaxy, though, they've fought hard in the first half and the 2-0. That Toluca deserved to be 2-0 up. I think they definitely deserve 2 goals to be on the board. And looking for a third here, ball over the top. Angelo. First few touches are awkward, but he gets past his man into the penalty area, pulls it back for Paulinho. Good quick feet. Vega, ball into the back post. Galaxy deal with it. And it's hooked away by Yoshida forward. For the first few touches for Luan Garcia to take. And to bring it down. Just about 30 seconds left of the first half. Toluca 2, LA Galaxy 0. For the moment, it will be Toluca meeting another team from LAFC. In the semi-finals, Helinho down the right, ball comes in, takes deflection off of Nelson. Out for a throw, which Toluca do take quickly. I'm sure they're loving to get into half-time. They've got that second now. They're very, very, very comfortable with the lead. Another lovely switch of play from Helinho from right to left to Gallardo. Branco, back to Gallardo, into the feet of Angelo, edge of the area, ball comes in, dealt with at the back by Garces and Yoshida. And I do believe the referee will call, guess he will. Half-time whistle has been blown, an impressive first 45 minutes from the Mexican side. Toluca, they took the lead inside 12 minutes after a lovely ball over the top and an exceptional run from Nicolas Castro. Finished it off well to give Toluca a 1-0 lead. They were dominant. LA Galaxy held in there. Give credit to the MLS side. David Valley thought that maybe I could get into half-time, just a goal down, but a late goal on a swift transition. Lovely ball from Helinho to find on the left-hand side. Jesus Ricardo Angelo put it on a plate for the Portuguese forward Paulinho, who made it 2-0 with a few minutes left of the first half. LA Galaxy all to do. Toluca massive favourites, but are getting the job done at the moment. Half-time from the Estadio Nemesis Diaz from Toluca, Mexico Champions Cup quarterfinals. That is Toluca 2, LA Galaxy 0. Going into 15 minutes for the second half. Well, it is a warm welcome back to this English audio commentary of the CONCACAF quarter-finals between Toluca and LA Galaxy. A dominating first half from Toluca, it has to be said. They lead 2-0. They took the lead around the 12-minute mark. An early strike after a lovely ball and an exceptionally timed run from Nicolas Castro. The Argentine midfielder latching on to Santiago Simon's well-timed pass and a lovely touch finish outside the area to boot as well. It was a lovely first half for Toluca. I'm sure that Antonio Mohamed will want to continue with the domination that he currently has. And I can imagine the fans in the stadium, they'll still want to put a few past Galaxy, probably, it has to be said, to put a show on for the fans. But goals in the first half from Castro, and then late on, a lovely transition on the counter-attack. Helinho finding a lovely pass to Jesus Ricardo Angelo. He put it on a plate for the Portuguese forward Paulinho. And he gladly obliged to tap it home for Toluca's second. I'm sure he would love to get even more involved in the goals in the second half. Galaxy were competitive, they were fiery as well. They had half a chance, it has to be said. A shot outside the area from Miller into the side netting. That was their only shot in the first half. Possession close to 80% for most of that first half for Toluca. Expected goals, XG of 1.36, a massive amount, it has to be said, from that first half. 0.03 for Galaxy. 11 shots, 4 on target for Toluca. As I say, only the one shot for Galaxy off target into the side netting. 5 corners to 1. Toluca lead in that area. No changes at half-time, it seems, for either side. There was a change up very, very late on in the first half. Federico Pereira coming off and Juan Garcia on in his place. So the 11's in full for Toluca. It's Luis Garcia in goal. A back four of Mendes, Luan Garcia and Santiago Simon, with Helinho on the right and Gallardo on the left as wing-backs. Castro, the goal scorer of Toluca's first, is partnered by Romero in the middle. It's Angelo Vega, the skipper now, and Paulinho, the forward three. Whereas for Galaxy, it's Marcinkowski in goal. Back four of Yamane, Garced, Nelson and skipper Yoshida. Midfield duo of Cirillo and Winder, with Tommy, Miller and Gabriel Peck supporting Klaus, who leads the line. Early on in this first half, only a couple of minutes in, of course, a bit of possession at the moment for LA Galaxy. Got it in the middle with Winder. As I said in that first half, I really feel for Greg Vanny, because I just feel that you've probably got his half-time team talk set and prepped at 1-0 down. You think, and I can imagine he's thinking, oh, we're only 1-0 down, guys. Look, if we could keep that, keep solid, keep tight, maybe in the second half, go and get an equaliser, who knows? And then that second goal for Paulinho in the 43rd minute was an absolute killer for Galaxy and the coach at the same time. I can imagine that it's a completely different team talk at half-time. Toluca coming forward, ball into the box. Well-timed cross, well-timed header. Straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Might even be an offside there. Believe there was, but it's a lovely ball in. Again, Toluca with his 3-4-3. Don't want to be over zealous and go too much into a detail of opinions, but I do think it either works very, very well as Toluca are working it, and you are very confident and you know what you're doing in the system, and it's so good to watch like Toluca are this evening. Or we've seen, I think a lot of people have seen Manchester United play 3-4-3 for just over a year, and it never clicked, it never worked. And I think for Toluca this evening, they've been exceptional, and the 3-4-3 has been exceptional for them. The back three working very well. Romero almost sitting very deep. That means Castro gets forward a little bit more often as a more box-to-box. The wing-backs have been sensational. Helinho on the right, Gallardo on the left have been fantastic as a duo. Paulinho's a great forward for the system as well, and Angelo and Vega, I even put it on the left and right. They're just interchanging, finding pockets of space. Half the time Angelo's on the left and with Vega doubling up and tripling up with Gallardo as well. And I've been rather impressed by Toluca. Yes, there were massive favourites coming in, and the massive favourites every week in the Liga MX, but They've really put the money where the mouth is in the favouritism this evening. And the Galaxy, though, they're going to come forward. Ball to the right-hand side. Peck, well defended at first by Simon. And he's going to force him wide. Is that a corner? I believe it is. Then League-Toluca. And one thing perhaps that Antonio Mohammed would have said is, can't let our guard down. We can't let complacency creeping at all. Perhaps Galaxy get a goal. Momentum maybe swings their way. The push for a second. Who knows? And if they keep a clean sheet, of course, we're done and dusted. They're into the semi-finals. But I wonder if LA Galaxy just think at one point, maybe let's go for it and push for a goal. And they get momentum. They are the away side, of course. The game being played in Toluca, Mexico, from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz. Ball comes in the second half. Galaxy, the visitors, going from right to left in the usual all-white with a hint of blue strip, and Toluca left to right in the all-red home kit. So the corner comes in. It's not a good delivery. It's easily cleared away, but cleared away all the way back to Marcin Kowski in the Galaxy goal. And then the ball on the right-hand side from Yamani, looking for the run of Peck, well overhit. Toluca get it back. I think Franco and Castro, they've been excellent in the midfield positions. The only player I feel that you can't maybe give everyone's probably putting a minimum of a 7 or an 8 or a 10 in this game. The only player you can say who hasn't, and it's not really his fault, is the goalkeeper Luis Garcia, because he's had absolutely nothing to do with him. Claim a handful of crosses and play out with his feet most of the time. Apart from that, I think everyone has been absolutely sensational to a degree. Been rather impressed, as I say, multiple times at Bunny Toluca. Back to Garcia it goes. Franco Romero to the right hand side. Possible chance could Toluca take. Alinho, again, he's been great down that right hand side. Cuts inside, ball in behind, opportunity. Thought that might have been better forced a little bit wide. Back to Helinho. For the 1-2s, Helinho. It's back to Mendes, his centre back, but almost playing at full back at times. And the wide centre backs for Toluca, giving that freedom and licence to go forward, find space. Out to Gallardo on the left hand side. For edge of the area, great interception from Garces. Clears it forward. Gabriel Peck looking to take on his man. Great tackle there from Gallardo. Just puts it out for a throw-in, but that was fantastic from the wing back there. Again, credit both Helinho and Gallardo both for going forwards. They're getting back as well, they're helping in a defensive situation. Imani will be the man to take. Quickly into the feet of Cirillo. Brought it down there for no, it goes out for another throw for Galaxy, so they're moving up the field with the free kicks at the moment. Again, looking at possession, Galaxy have never really been bothered about it. I think it's just more, I'm not saying you have to always have 60% plus possession, but I think when you're on the ball, I think Galaxy could do better with it, but this is what they're doing now, winding the ball forward. It's intercepted and needed support, and now Galaxy have thrown a few bodies forward. Paulinho out to the left hand side to Vega. If the game isn't done at 2-0, if Toluca do get a third, I would say maybe that is final nail in the coffin for Galaxy. Castro out to the right hand side, Helinho. The overlapping run from Mendes, pops it back in, and now Mendes is out of position. Now Galaxy, if they can work it well, they might have an overload on this left-hand side. Big tackle from behind on Klaus there by Garcia. Juan Garcia. Luis Garcia is in goal, so 2 Garcias on the field for Toluca. Quickly taken to the overlapping run of Ishida. Miller forced to go further back though. Cirillo. Miller. Better from Galaxy, and I'll see that goes to commentator right there of Cirillo, heavy touch and taken off his toes by Vega. Lovely turn there from Franco, looking to come forward to Luca. But again, the lead 2-0, so yes, they want to come forward, but they'll come forward at their own pace almost. And here with Heleno, trying to get the better this time of Nelson. Nelson sticks out a boot and does well to come away with the ball, but plays a quick long pass forward, and it comes of it, unfortunately. Toluca win a free kick. It's a late foul by Winder. Halfway into the Galaxy half as well. Good run from Vega. This cuts inside, and Galaxy defensive midfield, they're always stretching to get the ball, and was always trickling away from him as well, so see why that it's come to that. Goalkeeper Marcin Kowski just having a word with his wall and his defenders and the line that they're going to play. Ball is swiftly fizzed in, deflected away, nodded away, but only as far as Heleno on the right hand side. Back to Mendes, everyone for the moment bar Luis Garcia is in the Galaxy half. Lovely pass into the penalty area, back across the face of goal. Last ditch defending there from Nelson to clear it away. And it's booted long for the run possibly of Klaus, but well under hit. And it's a nice pass, nice way to pass for Mendes. A poor pass in terms of the run for Klaus. Vega going forward once again, running at Yamane. Great tackle there and great defending from the Galaxy right back. He looks to play it long, pulling into the right hand channel for Gabriel Peck, and Peck gives up on the ball. Gonna roll into the feet of the defender Simon, but says I think Gabriel Peck, he could have at least kept the run on, and the ball that got out, it wasn't going out of play. The Toluca man was always going to get it, but I do just feel he could have maybe kept it going forward, kept pressure and a press on the forward. Castro, he loses out in the middle. Galaxy might come forward. They've got a 2-on-2 if they can work it well. Peck's going to cut inside. He's going to go for the long-ranging effort. Stings the palms of the goalkeeper Garcia. They've still got the ball, and a strike comes in again from Gabriel Peck. You feel if anything's going to happen, it's going to come from that young winger. It's a great strike. It's straight at the goalkeeper, but it's swerving in mid-air. So it's moving all the time, so it's straight to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper goes to his right for a second, so very, very awkward just for a moment there. Galaxy are going to make, I do believe, a double change. Miller will be one of the players to come off. I can imagine there might be attacking changes. And Winder will be coming on as well, and the one I was looking forward to possibly seeing, Michael Royce, is onto the field of play as well. So double change for Galaxy. On comes Justin Hack, number 15. And also Marco Royce in an attacking position. Royce and Hack on. Winder and Miller are the players to leave the field. So like-for-like changes. Hack a defensive midfielder, Royce an attacking one. Very experienced German coming on to try and help his side, at least get back into it, maybe even a consolation goal, I'm not too sure. But he had so much experience to this Galaxy side. Toluca though, picking up where they left off with Heleno on the right hand side. Plays it back centrally to Franco. Goes for a strike. Well over the bar there. But Franco Romero, good piece of play. I don't even have a bother with him going for goal there. No one was closing him down. They were more bothered about closing down the passing lanes more than anything were the Galaxy defenders there. So have a pop at goal, see what it's about. Yes, it was poor, and you never know. Galaxy seems they've got a second burst of life here. They're going forward again and putting Toluca under a bit of pressure on the right hand side. Once again, Peck is the man on the ball, linking up play into the area, trying to turn his Klaus, gets his strike away. It's blocked away though. Much better this is from the MLS outfit. Ball into the box, just too much on it It is a good delivery, but for Klaus, just too much on the ball. Great play there from Edwin Cirillo, getting further forward. Does go out all the way from the right-hand side of Galaxy to their left-hand side, to the right-hand side of Toluca. What a ball into the box it was. I think you just feel maybe if you are Cirillo, you would say, yes, I overhit it for the run of Klaus, but maybe you just need someone to take that risk and getting a position there. As I say, look, much better from Galaxy. Just over an hour played from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz, Toluca, Mexico. It is CONCACAF, Champions Cup quarter-final action. As the host Mexican side, Toluca host LA Galaxy. It's Toluca 2, LA Galaxy 0. Goal early on in the first half, inside 12 minutes from Nicolas Castro. Got the ball over the top, well-timed run and a perfectly timed finish into the bottom corner. Nothing that James Marcinowski in the Galaxy goal could do about it. Ball comes in here, well held by Luis Garcia. And although Galaxy kept themselves involved, they didn't have chances really, but they defended very well. To say Toluca had a lot of possession and shots at goal. I think Marcinkowski as well, and the back four were very, very good in the first half. But then unfortunately, after going forward for a good few minutes and trying to get maybe a late equaliser in the first half, maybe just overdoing it just a little bit, Toluca hit swiftly on a counter-attack. Elinho played a nice ball out to Jesus Ricardo Angelo, who put it on a plate for Paulinho. The Portuguese striker gladly obliged to tap it home to make it 2-0 Toluca. Make the team talk for Greg Vanney, the Galaxy boss, a little bit harder for Antonio Mohamed, saying well done lads, we're 2-0 up, and we're at the moment flying into the semi-finals to face again another LA outfit in LAFC. And looking at the as Toluca just have the ball at the back, play it long actually. Deflected off of a Galaxy man and out for a throw in high and wide on the right hand side. Elinho back into the middle for Romero. Return to get away from his man. He's been that just steady hand in midfield, allowing Castro to go forward and saying, I'm going to sit here, I'll dictate the play, I'll win the ball, I'll break up play, you get forward, get the goal that you did. I think they've worked incredibly well as a duo. Another two down the left hand side. Gallardo getting in behind, ball into the box just over the head of Angelo. Balls for Elinho, puts a lovely ball into the box, into the back sticks, his header goes wide. Paulinho, what a chance to make that 3-0 and grab his second of the evening. Thumbs up from the Portuguese forward. My word, what a crossing from the right hand side. Puts it on a play for Paulinho. That should have been 3-0. If the game's already not over, that should have been game over. What a chance. And we would say Paulinho, he's very good with his feet. He's a Portuguese forward. But a man who's just about 6'2", 6'3", give or take. That should have been game done and dusted. And I'm sure he will be more disappointed than anyone else. He won't need me to say about disappointment. He'll be disappointed himself. 33-year-old Portuguese striker. Scored many goals with his head for the likes of Sporting Lisbon and I'm sure for Toluca as well. That was a massive chance. I know that everyone's a fan of XG, but 0.58 of a chance that was. That just to me shows how high of a quality of chance Toluca are getting in this game and creating in this game. Fantastic ball again. It was going to play, and I thought Paulinho was going to nod this one home. Powerful header. Unfortunately for him, he can't make it 3-0 and grab his brace this evening. As I say, I think if that one goes in, you are possibly looking at the game truly being done and dusted. Toluca on the ball. On the right hand side, Elinho. It's the overlapping run. He's tackled in the middle there by Hack. To Cirillo. Back to Yoshida. Galaxy. Can they come forward? 1-2. Driving forward, Galaxy, could they grab a goal here? Ball in behind, opportunity. Can they play it across the face of goal? It's in the back of the nets. And LA Galaxy grab a vital goal. Gabriel Peck, the man who drives away in celebration. He's been lively all evening long. He's been the standout player for Galaxy by an absolute mile. And possibly this is what Antonio Mohamed would have said, is don't let complacency get into you. Try and keep that clean sheet. It was a lovely play. Peck has it on the right-hand side. Does he go for goal? He is going for goal. He puts it into the near post, and the goalkeeper, Luis Garcia, I'm sure it's one that maybe people will say it's poor goalkeeping. He commits to the dive because I think everyone would have thought it's going into the back post, into João Klaus. Instead it goes into the near post. The goalkeeper's already dived, so it's almost an open net, but a very acute angle. And Rodrigo Peck has to come over, and he's going to have to beat field for a moment. I believe he might have to. He did celebrate by taking his jersey off and showing a message on his undershirt. And I think he's trying to take the undershirt off now, is the Brazilian, 25-year-old. So for the moment, I do believe Galaxy are down to 10 men. Former Vasco da Gama man. Played close to 100 times for LA Galaxy. Won the MLS, of course, in 2024. In terms of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, his 7th goal in the competition. He's been a vital man for Galaxy this year. In terms of the MLS, of course, it's not too far of a season yet to score in the league, but to say that he's in the CONCACAF 5 starts and 6 goals, now 7 I should say. Just love it. Even the improvisation from the Brazilian is what impresses me ever so much. Because again, he can see that, excuse me, he can see the goalkeeper's going to dive, and when he put the ball into the box, I'm thinking, is that taking a deflection? Was that a miss hit? Possibly by him? And puts it back and you go, no, he knew exactly what he was doing. And he was superb from the winner, who, as I say, has been a menace all afternoon long. And they're coming forward once again with Peck on the right-hand side. A few step-overs, pokes it into the box. Last-ditch defending from Mendes. Played away by Garcia as well. Oh, what an opportunity that was, if something could come from it. And I did say earlier on that, look, if they do get a goal back into it, Galaxy, would you have to say, have the momentum. And at the moment, they're putting Toluca under a lot of pressure, and they're doing the boss, Greg Vanny, very, very proud, I'd have to say. Putting a great shift in, and again, what I would say is I just think, unfortunately, that second goal, for example, if they'd have gone in half-time at 1 apiece, well, you sat here, aren't you, and going 1 apiece. We're about 90, obviously 90 minutes of football, about 20 minutes away from the 90th minute. So much of an opportunity, whereas 2-1 down, you still have to go get that second, and again, you would say it's a very strong opportunity to look up. They're going to make a change. Going off will be Helinho. He's been fantastic all evening long, and Lopez will be coming on for him. That's a more defensive change. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, of course. Will be the Mexican more left back Everardo Lopez to come on, so although he'll be playing as a wing back, I mean, that might signal a change of formation. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, I've watched the defender in action too many times, but what I would say is, from his profile, looks more of a defensive mind. Toluca coming forward though. Romero on the edge of the area. To Gallardo. Can he find a ball into the box? He takes it down the byline. Ball comes in. It's cleared away though. It's cleared away well by Galaxy. And I think as well, to me, someone with the abilities of someone like on the field of such of Marco Reus. He's been in some big time situations, as we all know. I don't think it takes much for him to be able to do something, and perhaps he could come clutch for his side. At the moment, they're back to status quo with Toluca on the ball. 71 minutes on the clock, less than 20 to go. We're just over halfway through the second half from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz in Toluca, Mexico. CONCACAF quarterfinals. The winner bound for the semi-finals against LAFC, and at the moment it's Toluca who are heading there. A little bit more comfortable a few minutes ago though. It's Toluca 1, LA Galaxy 1. Toluca 2, LA Galaxy 1, apologies. Galaxy are making a fight of it in the second half. Credit to them and Greg Vanney. Toluca took the lead early on through Nicolas Castro in the 11th minute, and a clinical counter from Toluca put them 2-0 up as well. Later on in the 43rd minute, finished off by Paulinho. Taking them 2-0 into half-time, making Greg Vanney's half-time team talk and tactical tweaks, I can imagine, a little bit more awkward, as you would think. But just a few moments ago, lovely attack from Galaxy. Gabriel Peck finishing it off well at the near post. Sets us up nicely at the back end of this game. As I say, just about over 15 minutes to go. It is Toluca 2, LA Galaxy 1. Galaxy have just made a change though. Off goes John Nelson, on comes Julian Audi, an Argentine left back, so very much like for like for the former Lanús man. I believe as well that might be there. They've got 2 more changes if I'm correct, and they've got 1 more block to make it. Toluca though, they're coming forward and they're looking dangerous now. They get a third, you can imagine the wind will be zapped and taken away from LA Galaxy. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait and see. Ball forward into Paulinho, into the box. Angelo goes for a strike, falls for Paulinho, and he makes it his second of the evening, makes it 3-1 to Toluca. That's game done and dusted. Galaxy have been a credit to themselves. Paulinho trying to play it into the man who played it into him, and it's unfortunate. Miki Yamane goes for a great tackle, and he gets a great tackle, and he wins the ball superbly off of Ricardo Angelo, but then it falls kindly for the Portuguese poacher Paulinho, and he slots it home, curls it home with his favoured left boot. He gets a brace. He puts a third in the back of the net for Toluca on the evening, and that is 3-1 with 15 minutes to go. I can't see a way back in it for LA Galaxy. I'm sure they'll fight, I'm sure they will battle, but that is probably the last thing that they will have wanted, especially as I thought that not the side was turning. I thought Toluca kind of got control of the game back, but I would say Galaxy, you just felt, again, because of the pace of a like of a Gabriel Peck, experience of a Marco Reus, maybe they create one chance to make it 2-2 with that goal for Toluca. That's finished it off for me. It's giving them the 2-goal buffer back, and they're coming forward again on the left hand side with Gallardo. Back to Garcia. Lopez looking for a run down the line of Vega, just a little bit under hitting. Galaxy win it, but heavy touch in the middle from Cirillo, and Toluca win it back. They'd love a fourth just to put on a show here this evening. Outside the area, the strike comes in from Vega, takes a wicked deflection. And is cleared out for a throw-in high on the left hand side. Toluca have only made 2 changes, but they did make them at separate points, so they've only got 1 block of change and 3 changes available, whereas Galaxy have made 3 changes within 2 blocks. So they've got 2 left and a block of changes to make it. Outside the area, strike comes in. You always felt the Toluca man, Castro's already found the back of the net. It was an awkward angle. Test the goalkeeper though. Looks like it was going wide for me, but Masinkowski didn't want to take any chances, and credit to him, it's a strong arm and he puts it out for a corner. Castro will be the man to go over and take it though. As I say, in this second half, Toluca going from left to right. Galaxy right to left, so it will be an outswinger from the near side. Heads go up. It goes right back up, just up into the air. Easy catch there for James Masinkowski. The Galaxy goalie gets on the end of it. Galaxy play it down the right hand side, back to Peck. Little 1-2s on that right hand side. Yamane, heavy touch, possibilities here, ball back into the area. Has it been stabbed home? Yes it has. Galaxy, Marco Reus, the German, the big man for the big moment so many times for Borussia Dortmund. Looks like he's tapped it home once again. Toluca, I've been singing their praises, making it 3-1. I have to sing the praises of LA Galaxy, making it 2-3 now. And once again, back on is this game. It was poor at first from Royce, but then he gets himself in a lovely position. I'm sure the shouts for offside are possibly something to think about, but he taps it home. One of the easiest finishes he's ever going to get. Shouts for a handball, possibly off the substitute Aud. And then he's got Royce in an offside position at first. He's not when the ball's played back in. There's currently a VAR check, I do believe, but I don't see a reason for this goal not to be given. And LA Galaxy just won't give up in this game. Confirmation as we are back underway, 77th minute, and Marco Reus getting on the score sheet. It's a big man for the big moments. There's a former Dortmund man. He was given the assist as well. It was a 36-year-old German for the goal from Gabriel Peck. He's now got his second goal in this game for Galaxy. He's got his second goal in the CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. Former Dortmund man, that's a free agent signing with the MLS side. With over 400 times for Dortmund, 170 goals. It's his 12th goal for Galaxy, and what an important one it is as well. It keeps LA Galaxy in this game, you have to say, and they're going to make a double change to boot as well. Saw that Yamane was one of the names who will be leaving the field of play. Ready for full confirmation of there is 2 changes, 2 last changes for Galaxy. Miki Yamane will be making his way off. And on for him is Mauricio Suarez. The 19 on his back. And it looked to me that it was Lucas Sanabria coming on for Eric Tommy. Just waiting for the ball to go up for full confirmation of that number 8 is coming onto the field. So Sanabria is on as well as Mauricio Suarez. Off goes Yamane and Tommy. Double change for Galaxy, and it's their last change as well, so their last roll of the dice, if you will. What a game they've made it, and they're coming forward, ball into the box, it goes wide for a corner. Say my word, they're really making a game of this. The visiting side, Toluca, massive favourites coming into this game. At the moment, they're being put under a lot of pressure by the visiting side from Los Angeles. It will be a corner on the near side. It will be an outswinger coming in. Delivery into the back post, just over the head of Yoshida. And will it go out? Yes, for a goal kick. It was more the question of, was it a goal kick or was it a throw-in? So Toluca get us back underway. Garcia quickly plays it to the feet of Simon. Imagine as well now, maybe again Toluca, very similar to when it was 2-1. You want to go and get that 2-goal buffer back. So I won't be shocked if Toluca are very focused on coming forward and getting a fourth. Less than 10 minutes to go. Toluca 3, LA Galaxy 2. CONCACAF quarter-final action. English audio commentary of all the action here from Toluca, Mexico, the Estadio Nemesio Diaz. Gallardo on the left, missing the ball into the box, dealt with incredibly well there. Had to be as well. At the back by Yoshida. Juan Garcia. To Romero. The stats for the game again, it's been heavy in the favour of Toluca, but Galaxy have taken their chances when it matters. And imagine an XG, for example, Marco Reus's strike was very high, 0.94 of an XG, so that might skew the stats, if you will, a little bit, if you were just to quickly read them off of a paper quickly. Toluca have the ball with Castro. Himself and Romero in the middle have been absolutely fantastic in this game. Out to Gallardo on the left-hand side. Puts it down the byline, ball into the box. Too much on it, goes all the way through the box. As the goalkeeper got a touch at it, but I don't think he did. So Galaxy will regain possession from a throw-in on the left-hand side. Looking at the stats, 72% possession for Toluca. It looks like as well they're going to make their triple changes. The last changes as well. As I say, they've got 3 changes to make, 1 block to make it. A couple of players are slowly making their way off the field, so we'll just wait for full confirmation of who's on and who's off the field. Unless, I'm not saying it is 3 changes, but definitely 2 are being made. 2 are making their way off the field. Now looks like it's Castro. I want to say Gallardo. Castro is definitely one of the men coming off the field of play. So it might just be the 2 for now. Broadcasters, of course, love to always play with us. So off goes Gallardo and on his icy ass. And Rossi is on for Vega. And on comes Barbosa for Simon Santiago. The triple change there for Toluca. These are written down on my piece of paper, so I'm not pronouncing or giving you any wrong information. When they do make 3 changes all at once, can be quite awkward and quite difficult to bring all of that, has to be said. It's never easy, especially 3 at once, and then the broadcasters sit there and they have the board up and the camera on the board, and then the board always, the cameras always disappear to somewhere else, and you sit there and go, you could have just held that for a few more seconds for me, could you? And then you're forced to look elsewhere and find where this substitute came on here, this substitute came on there. They all look to be more defensive-minded changes, I do have to say. Let's see what they can do in terms of damage. Toluca looking to come forward again. I said when they went 3-1 up, that's it done, dusted, but let's be honest, now we're into the last 5 minutes or so. if they get a fourth, that is the game done and dusted. I will probably have to say that. Ball over the top, looking for Paulinho, nods it down, it'll come back across the face of goal, blocked away, Paulinho's there, it's cleared away off of him by Yoshida, but Paulinho won't care. The Portuguese poacher grabs his hat-trick, and it's not in fine fashion, it's scrappy, it's not a great goal. Toluca and Paulinho will not care. It's Toluca 4, LA Galaxy 2, a classic of a quarter-final as far as I'm concerned. But Paulinho grabs his hat-trick. He's been deadly all game long. He had that big chance from a header as well earlier on in the game. I'm sure that was one that if he looks back on and goes, I should have scored that one. But regardless, he has grabbed his goal, and it was the substitute Franco Rossi who played it back across the face of goal for him. I do believe there is a quick VAR check for a possible offside. The ball was played over the top by Castro, who at first was coming off the field, has stayed on the field. The triple change was Gallardo, Vega and Simon off, Barbosa, Asayas and Rossi on for him. There's a VAR check and just waiting for full confirmation before we do get back underway, but Galaxy hearts have been broken once again, it seems, as Toluca 2-0 up. Galaxy brought them back to a 2-1, back to 3-1, back to 3-2 for Marco Reus tapping, and Paulinho, the Portuguese poacher, at the moment grabbing his third from, has to be said, a point of a bit of luck, but you gain your luck when you're in the right position. Referee blows the whistle to get the game back underway, so full confirmation is Toluca for LA Galaxy 2. I've got to give credit to Galaxy, they've been absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately Toluca, they've just been that little bit better, that little bit more quality this evening from the Estadio Nemesio Diaz. As I say, it was a ball over the top, lovely ball from Castro. Paulinho nods it down for Rossi. I think Paulinho thinks Rossi is in a more central position. He sends Rossi a little bit wide. Rossi puts it back across the face of goal. It is blocked by Yoshida, and then tried to be cleared away also by the former Saints defender. As he clears it, Paulinho just puts an outstretched left boot in the way. It comes off Paulinho and flies into the back of the net. So it's not the finish that he would have hoped for maybe for his third goal, but at the same time it's a hat-trick regardless for Paulinho, and I'm sure again as a striker, as long as it finds the back of the net, I don't think you're really bothered. That's a number 9. I don't think Paulinho will be bothered with that. So 88.5 minutes on the clock. Toluca 4, LA Galaxy 2. Toluca must be home and host into the semi-finals now. It does seem that way. Of course, coming into this game, as I say, they were massive favourites. I think they delivered on that for most, if not the entirety of this game. They've got a free kick about 40 yards out in a very central area. Rossi's come on winning that free kick. He's been fantastic since coming on. They're very lively. There has been a bit of pushing and shoving, and a yellow card's been given here for Bruno Mendes. I think Galaxy's, let's say, been hacked down by push on the Toluca number 4, Bruno Mendes. So a late yellow card, and maybe that's a frustration of they've had a few set pieces and they've been going at each other for a while. A free kick yet to come in. Toluca could grab a fifth. Looped into the back post, just over the head there of and on running Bruno Mendes. I'm sure he'd have had a bit of a point and a laugh at back if that one would have gone him. Just watching the replay back, is it a push, a bit of a shoulder in the back from Mendes, a bit of frustration, but confirmation he gets a yellow card, and it's his header. It was just wide of the mark. Good ball into the box, so it has to be said. LA Galaxy get us back underway. I'm sure they might come forward, look for a goal, but we're just about to hit the 90th minute mark. Just a few seconds off of it. Well, they put up a great fight. That's one thing I cannot deny. They've been second best, unfortunately, but in terms of the heart they've shown, they've been fantastic. They've made it a competition of LA Galaxy, and I think as a fan, as a neutral, that's all I can ask for. Ball into the box. Look at Paulinho, look over his ball. It's just over his head. And a 6'2" striker might have even slid in for it. Should have gone for the header more than anything. That'd have been a fifth and his fourth on an evening. That would have been for the Portuguese forward. 3 minutes of added time, so maybe a bit of mercy is being shown again in this game. There's not been stoppages. It's been a great second 45 as well as the first 45. It's been a great watch. Been a real honour to call this one the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-final. Very late / early doors for me in England, but say just past about a little late on, nearly 11 o'clock in Toluca, Mexico, so very late over there to be playing some football at this time as well. I know they're used to it, but I know the football's played early, played later in some parts of the world, isn't it? Getting late over there. In what manner I can imagine the party of getting into the CONCACAF semi-finals. Will rain on this Wednesday evening for Toluca. Of course, the last time they won it was in 2003, 23 years ago, and LAFC no pushovers. That'll be a great game in the semi-finals on the 29th of April. That'll be one to keep an eye out and to watch. Still to be decided. The semi-final. That's tight. To be decided. Both these teams will play in the second leg. Well, as I say, 4-2 in the first leg for Toluca. I have to say that looks like it's done and dusted for me. But look, LA Galaxy at home, they might just think, right, we've got an opportunity. We did fantastic away from home to get 2 goals, and probably think is they've got to win by 2 goals, of course, and that's just to take it to any extra time. So this 2-legged affair isn't over. I'll say LAFC's is very much over as far as I've been concerned. 3-0 in the first leg, but who knows, crazy things have happened in football. But Toluca have got the job done, it seems, in this first-legged affair. Looks like they will be facing LAFC in the next game. But LA Galaxy, they've been fantastic in this game. Hearts have been broken in the first leg. I'm sure that in the second leg they'll be very much up for it. Of course, that game will be on, well, for me at least, a week today, Thursday, April 16th. Late afternoon, early evening kickoff in LA. Toluca long ball forward, and the referee obliges for the full-time whistle. Hector Martinez, credit where it's due, he's had a fantastic game as a Uruguayan. Full-time Toluca, a dominating performance, but LA Galaxy, my word, did they keep it competitive and keep it up to standard for Toluca. They took the lead early on through Castro. They got the second late on in the first half with Paulinho's first strike of 3. They kept it competitive, as I say, the Galaxy through Gabriel Pet goal from the Brazilian later on in the second half, just after the hour mark, give or take. Very, very swiftly though, if I'm quite honest, less than 10 minutes later, Paulinho went and got his second and Toluca's third to make it 3-1. Less than 5 minutes later though, Marco Royce with a tap-in made an interesting 3-2 to Toluca, and then in the 85th minute mark, a clearance from Yoshida, an outstretched leg from Paulinho, but it found the back of the Galaxy net to grab his hat-trick, his third, and Toluca's fourth in the first leg of this CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-final. All eyes now go back to LA in just over a week's time. Toluca will have a 2-goal advantage thanks to a hat-trick from Brazilian poacher Paulinho. Full time from the Estadio Nemesis Diaz from Toluca, Mexico. It's Toluca 4 and the Galaxy 2. Thanks for joining, and we'll be back soon.